Hi guys, Aaron Leaf Green, the Green Psychic. Thank you for joining me again on a Sunday night for your free triple deck reading. Just before we get started, just a reminder, people watching this on TikTok, you're going to get the intro video and the choices of the categories. If you do want to watch the reading, you're going to have to head over to YouTube under the Green Psychic, and you can watch your videos from there. I'm doing this again so that it's fair. YouTube, Facebook get the full videos for their convenience. TikTok, you guys are more capable of being able to flick over to YouTube, and I go live on a Sunday night on TikTok. So fair's fair. Okay, so your choices this week are already up on screen. It's iceberg, it is the volcano, or it is a tornado or a hurricane, whichever one you'd prefer. The reason that I put these up is this is nature, and nature can be destructive, it can be dark, it can be painful, it can cause all sorts of problems for everyone and everything. However, it is part of nature, it is part of life, and there is a reason behind everything. Okay, so I'm using this as a metaphor because, like, right now I feel the energy is pretty damn good for a lot of people. But, you know, nothing lasts forever. A tornado can appear out of nowhere and whatever. Just remember that all these natural disasters that are up here today have, well, an iceberg isn't a natural disaster, but it does represent, you know, frozen barren lands, but there is a reason and a purpose for everything. I also apologize for next door neighbors. Well, I'm going to call it a dog, but it's like a bear. It is that big. It's friendly as, but yeah, it's Bucky in the background, so I do apologize for that. Okay, enough rambling. I'm going to get into it now. So choose whatever you're attracted to, and let's get into the video. Hi guys, Aaron Leaf Green, the Green Psychic. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so if you chose the iceberg, then this is your reading. Okay, so your first card out is the Summertime card. It is upside down, okay? So this is actually saying that, look, it can be one of two things when the Summertime card is upside down like this. It can actually be, you can see that there are castles in the sky. I apologize for next door's dog. There are castles in the sky. So this can be about you stop dreaming, stop fantasizing. You need to live in reality. You need to come back to reality. You need to do a little bit more work. Okay, but the other thing is sometimes we need that fantasy. Sometimes we need to get out of our head, to get away from reality. So look, normally I'm drawn to one or the other, but this week it could go both ways. So look, if you find yourself fantasizing and not getting anything done, well, time to come back to reality. If you're trapped in reality and full of anxiety and worry and stress, find a way to get into that fantasy world, that dream world of, binge watch a TV series or something. Just escape reality for a little bit in any way that suits you. Okay, now the first card out is actually work. All right, so normally for a general reading, it's not so split down the middle, but again, I feel like, look, if you are living in fantasy world and not concentrating on reality, you need to work your butt off. You need to get back into work. You need to get things done, especially before end of year. I don't know why I've said that, but especially before end of year, you need to start ramping up to get everything done. Otherwise, your plans are just not going to happen. You're not going to actually get anywhere. Now, normally when we're stuck in fantasy land and avoiding reality, we don't really care if we're not getting anywhere because that's why we've gone to fantasy world. You know, no matter how hard I try, I'm not moving anywhere, so I'm just going to pretend that I'm going to win the lotto next month. And, you know, we all have our coping mechanisms, and that is totally fine. I'm always telling people to find your own coping mechanisms to help yourself through these situations. And once you're through the situation, judge how good that coping mechanism was. Did it get you through the problem quickly, or did it take longer than it should have? Was it something constructive or not? You know, you've got to work that out. Now, for people that are in reality stressing about work, you need to take a little bit of time to look at the bigger picture, take a step back, and really decide on, giving yourself some breathing room, okay? Because work is going to be fine for you guys, all right? Again, I don't normally have a reading, these general readings, I think if you've been watching from the beginning, I think this is the first one ever where it is I'm getting literally both sides of the coin here, which makes sense, but it's just funny that it hasn't happened before. Okay, see, again, now, look, if you're living in, look, I'm not going to do 50-50. I'm going to go with stop living in fantasy world, get your act together, start working, because this older gentleman card is somebody that's hit rock bottom, picked themselves up, has learnt their lessons and dusted themselves off and is confidently charging into the future, not worried that they're going to be brought down or hit rock bottom again. Okay, so look, this is all about learning, and it is kind of like, well, if you are stuck in this situation where you feel like you've got no control over your reality, so you're stuck in dream world, it is time to make some changes. Okay, learn from the past and make some changes. I know it's very easy for me to say make changes, but you know, this could be, look, start small. Start on some things, like hypothetically you feel like you should be doing more exercise. Well, then get up and go for a walk around the block, like at 5 minutes around the block, come home. That in the long run isn't actually doing anything for you, but it does give you a sense of, well, I achieved something, I did something, and I'm working towards my goal. So the more you do that, the more confident you're going to feel and more pleased with yourself that you're doing something to change your future. Okay, so then you step it up and go for a longer walk, or you might look at joining the gym or going for a run instead of a walk. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a metaphor. It builds up. Those are the small things. Now, once you get on top of that, you start getting onto the bigger things. If you really hate your job and want another job, it's not going to come to you like magic on a silver platter. Apply for jobs, okay? Get your resume done. There are plenty of places that do your resume for free, or you can pay for it to be done if you're not confident with that. There are a ton of jobs out there. Most people are intimidated by the looking for a job and what does all of this mean. Do you know what? If there are words in a job description you don't know, doesn't mean you can't do that job. It just means you Google what those words mean. Job applications and the whole interview process, it's all very scary and daunting in this day and age, but take that as a personal challenge that, okay, well, I'm going to make my way through this. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to do this. Okay? Learn from your mistakes. If you keep doing what you've always done, then you're always going to have what you've always had. Meaning, if you keep just living in dreamland and going with the flow and feel like you're not getting anywhere, if you keep doing that, then that's your life. That is your life. And that, if you're not happy with it now, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're never going to be happy with your life. Okay? So it is time to make some changes. It is time to do some hard work. Now, the last card here is the illusion card. It's upside down. Okay? So to me, it's saying that, look, there's like this growing feeling of positivity in people. You know, the energy that's out there has been very, very negative for a long time. We've all been feeling it, but it could be that we're coming up to end of year, the planets could be changing alignment, whatever, but it's kind of like people are just getting a sense that it's going to be okay, and, you know, something's going to happen, and, you know, this is what this illusion card is saying. It's upside down. It's saying that it's not an illusion. If you apply yourself, if you go after what you want without hurting yourself or anybody else, you will get what you want. Okay, so look, really it is like, jump out of fantasy land, apply yourself, do the hard work that you need to do, learn from your past what not to do and what you can do differently from the past, and work towards your future, because it's not an illusion. You really can have what you want. Okay, guys, I really hope that helped. If you do want a full reading, you can contact me at thegreenspsychic@gmail.com or through the socials. I will be live on TikTok at 7 p.m. on Sunday, so feel free to come say g'day. Otherwise, I'll leave you to it, and blessed be, guys. Have a good week. Hi guys, Aaron Leaf Green, the Green Psychic. Thank you for joining me again on a Sunday night for your free triple deck reading. Okay, so if you chose the volcano, then this is your reading. Oh, whoops, need to turn that up the right. Oh gosh. That's why I didn't want to turn it up the right way. Okay, so this is the succubus card. This is being drained of a lot of energy. You know, this can be emotional stress, worry, anxiety, all that stuff that's sucking energy out of you. Or it could be a problem that you're facing, like the mortgage going up and that just creating all that stress. More to the point, it could be a person. Okay, sometimes when things are getting stressful around us, we kind of lean towards the wrong type of people, or you know, we see warning signs in people or red flags, but instead of staying away from them because of the way we're feeling, we just want some sort of distraction. What I'm picking up with this card is that nothing good can come from that. You do need to block yourself and stay away, because there are consequences to every action we make. So if you're doing something that you know is going to come back to bite you in the ass at a later date, this is saying it is going to bite you in the ass. Stay away from that. You don't need it. A lot of times when you are stressed and anxious, yeah, it's great to get out there and talk to people and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you also need to ultimately, we need to rely on ourselves to help us through whatever we're going through. It's great to have support network and everything, but at the end of the day, no matter what anybody says or does, it is you. It is me. It is us as an individual person that makes the decisions, that processes what's being said by the other person, and it's up to us to actually physically make those decisions. So it's kind of like right now you're an alcoholic, and the world might be telling you that you're an alcoholic, but until you process the fact that you are and genuinely want to change, there's nothing that can be done. This is what I mean about trusting yourself, believing yourself, listen to yourself, because at the end of the day, no matter how many people we have around us, the most important person that is going to support us, that should be supporting us, is us as an individual. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Now, the addiction card. So again, we're going with the metaphor that you're an alcoholic. Okay, so look, the addiction card is drugs, alcohol, gambling, all of those sorts of things, but it can be a lot more. It can be addicted to people, places, things, bad habits. This is saying there's obsession going on around you. There's something that you literally need to pull yourself back from. Now, I really don't even feel like that this is a positive thing. It's not like, okay, drugs, people go have drugs because it makes them feel good and escape into another reality. That you can kind of understand why people get addicted to that. But then you get people that are addicted to, let's go with battered wife syndrome, that for whatever reason or another, they don't want to be in that position, but they can't leave. It's kind of like they're stuck there. It kind of is an addiction to somebody else's bad behavior and to a bad pattern of life, that, you know, once the husband's done bashing, then they make up and apologize and everything's great. It's a cycle. So that's what I'm picking up here, that there is a bad sort of addiction that you're obsessed with, that you're being drawn to, that you need to let go of. Okay, so again, this can come straight down to being around the wrong person. You may really like being around this person or these people, but I feel like bad influence, leading you down the wrong track, can't trust them. Look, if you're hanging around people that treat others like crap, you've got to understand that that's a red flag, that if they can do that to other people, they can do it to you. Okay, if you're around people that do dodgy things a lot to other people, or steal, or you know, whatever, you've got to understand that human psychology is, if they can do that to somebody else, they can do it to you. Now, you might not want to believe that. You might think that, oh no, we've been friends for a long time. It doesn't matter. Okay, if they are capable of hurting others or doing something bad to others, they're capable of doing it to you. Circumstances change. This is why divorce is so high. People get married never thinking the other person's going to hurt them, and then it happens. Okay, so keep that in mind. Yeah, look, this is the overseas travel card. Okay, so this is movement forward. This is getting away from these things if you go through and really suss out which people you need to get rid of in your life or stay away from, what problems are setting you off that you need to look. This could be like you're watching politics on the news and getting really, really into it and obsessed with it. At the end of the day, look, I stay away from politics because I'm like, it doesn't matter how I feel or what I say or what I do. It's going, like, in this day and age, if people believe that things get passed through by votes, they're very, yeah. Look, I know people that get really upset about politics, and it's like, well, there's nothing you can do. You need to let it go and move on. Okay, concentrate on your own individual life. This is saying, again, that if you aren't able to let go, recognize what the obsession is or what the bad is in your life at the moment, and let it go so that you don't RIP, then there is a lot of movement forward. I feel like letting go of negativity and moving forward into positivity. I also feel like that once you get rid of these bad elements, that you are going to find yourself. Just by getting rid of the bad elements, you're saying to yourself, the universe, the people around you, that I'm not taking crap anymore. I'm looking after myself and I'm going after what I want. I need to improve on my life. I want to improve on my life. I want a better, happier life. And that's what this is saying. There is a giant move forward. It's like you're changing countries altogether. Okay, so I straight away with this house and home card upside down, I do feel like it's like, don't worry about the home. Don't worry about where your heart is at the moment, because things are going to work out. So look, I'm not, this is the home card, so it's a wish card. It's upside down. Forget that part. With the home card, it could be talking about, oh, you're wanting to buy a home, or you're struggling with a mortgage, or you're wanting to rent a place, or you're struggling with the rent, whatever. This is actually saying, don't worry about it. It's all going to sort itself out, okay? That's number one with actual homes and where you're living. But you know the saying that home is where the heart is. So this is also talking about, look, you could be, your heart, your passion in life right now could be on starting your own business or working on your own business, okay? And you might be stressed out, no, I can't do this, I'm going to have to fold up and go. No, this is actually saying, don't worry about it. It is going to work out, okay? If your heart and passion right now is in your job or a relationship and you might be stressing or worrying, this is literally saying, stop stressing, stop worrying, okay? You've got enough of this going on. You need to let go of it. To get to this point, to let go of everything and to move forward, you need to start working on getting rid of the negativity in your life, okay, and the negative things. Guys, I really hope that helped. If you do want a full reading, you can contact me at thegreenspsychic@gmail.com or through the socials. I will be live on TikTok at 7 p.m. Sunday night. Look, try your hardest to recognize red flags and make those choices to get rid of them, whether it's a tiny step back and a series of step backs, whatever you need to do, okay? But until next week, blessed be. Hi guys, Aaron Leaf Green, the Green Psychic. Thank you for joining me again on a Sunday night for your free triple deck reading. Okay, so if you chose the Tornado or the Twister, this is your reading. Just for the record, how exciting is it that Twister 2 is coming out? I can't wait to see that. I know it won't be as good as the first one, especially considering Bill Paxton has passed. Unfortunately, I was a big fan of his. But let's just see. Okay, so your overall card this week is surrender. It's giving up. Now, sometimes we look at that at, like, I'm sure a lot of people, while I was dribbling on about the movie, was like, oh, surrender, oh my god, yeah, okay, fair enough. No, surrender doesn't mean you can't win, so just give up. That's not what it means. It means that, sometimes it means that just surrender to what life is at the moment. It is what it is. Just go with the flow and things will work out. Stop fighting against the current. You know, sometimes this is a good thing. Good things happen around us, and because it doesn't happen a lot in life, our natural human instinct is to go, well, I'm just waiting for the other boot to drop. You know, things are going good now, but just wait for it. Something bad's going to happen. Sometimes we need to surrender to life itself and surrender to the good things. Enjoy it while it happens. If you really do subscribe to the fact that not a lot of good things happen in your life, but, you know, my point to you is then settle back and enjoy it while it's happening. When something good happens, bathe in that energy, because yeah, look, nothing lasts forever, good or bad. So life is a series of waves, and a roller coaster, ups and downs. We all know that, okay? But this is saying that you need to surrender to that's what life is. So when something bad is going on, just understand that, yeah, shit happens to us, but it will get better. Just like when good things happen to us, you're expecting that bad stuff is going to happen. Expect the same when bad stuff happens, that good stuff's going to happen. Life is about balance, up, down, left, right, dark, light. You've got to understand that. So what I'm getting here is to work on that negative aspect of expecting bad things to happen, because we can manifest bad stuff unintentionally. If you keep thinking, it's like the saying, if you walk in the bush and look for snakes, you're going to find a snake. It's kind of the same thing here. If you go looking for bad things to happen, you're going to find them. If we sit down and try and work out why we're so unhappy or why we're upset, you're going to have a laundry list of reasons as to why you're upset, which are going to upset you even more when you... Don't do this to yourself. It really is surrender to life, that good happens, bad happens. It's a balance, and try and let go, surrender those feelings of something bad is going to happen and nothing good ever lasts. It's surrender that negative, let that negativity in you actually sink, okay? Okay, so this is a love and marriage card. Now, this is really good. This could be talking about, obviously, relationships. You could be meeting somebody. It could be thankful for the relationship you're in, the marriage, the life that you've had, whatever. But I feel like that this is, once you get rid of this negativity and start living in positivity, you and positivity are going to be a perfect match, okay? You're going to get into this sense of, it's kind of like you're taking a different spiritual track. Instead of expecting crap to go wrong all the time, which I've lived like that. I lived most of my life expecting the worst, preparing for the worst, and if something good happens, then great. But even when I would go and get my own psychic readings before I was professional, or even after I was professional, I would always sit down and say to them, okay, look, I want to know what's the bad things that are ahead for me, rather than the good, because then I can be prepared for the bad and enjoy the good when it happens. However, living that lifestyle, when the good actually happens, you don't concentrate on that. You concentrate on, oh, that's nice. You don't really appreciate it. You concentrate on what's bad and what's coming. So look, this is kind of like, once I stopped doing that, and I'm like, look, I'm just going to take each day as it comes. I could have a good day, I could have a bad day, but it's just a day. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I could have a bad couple of weeks, but there's also good that happens with the bad. I might be having, my brother recently fell off a ladder and twisted his knee, and it's major and it's bulging. He's a courier, does a lot of walking, and he has to walk on that knee. That's bad. Like, it really is. That's something that's bad. He's in constant pain. It's not good. However, as a result, there's been more contact. We've been helping my brother out, and we've been going out on outings, and as a result, there's been good in that, because we've all caught up, and there's always a silver lining to everything. So I hope that helps. But what I'm saying is, if you do make these changes and let go of these negativity and stop worrying about it, because why should you suffer twice? You worry now that something bad is going to happen, so you're suffering now, and then something bad happens, then you have to suffer through that. You suffer twice. Don't do that to yourself. You're going to make it through. You're going to make a good connection with positive energy, which is really going to help turn your life around. Now, I also feel like that as a result of this, there are going to be some physical changes in your life. There is going to be a new connection, a new partnership that comes in. It doesn't just mean romantic. It could mean that you meet you make a new friend, or you have a real good passion for your job, or something like that. There's going to be something in there that's going to bring you a lot of support, a lot of confidence, a lot of really good energy. Okay. Now, the next card over is the Spirit Energy card. So this is kind of on par with what we're saying, as in, this is spirit energy, positive spiritual energy, not just spirits, but positive energy around you. Now, it is upside down. So, A, if you are going through a bad time, this is a perfect time to start this by giving up and going, it is what it is. There are going to be bad days. I'm going to have good days. Okay? Because I feel like that this is a lack of support, a lack of positive energy around you at the moment. So it is actually the perfect time to go, you know what? I'm entitled to feel bummed and down, but that doesn't mean I have to believe the rest of my life is going to be full of doom and gloom. So there is that. Now, yeah, look, I also want to say to you that this spirit energy is talking about people around you might have very low energy at the moment, might be very negative. So it might actually be that you're being brought down by people. So really have a look at that. And, you know, not everybody brings us down on purpose. It could just be that, you know, we go to catch up with a friend and they've had a bad day, so their energy is very low. So our energy becomes very low. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but understand that just because their energy is low doesn't mean your energy has to come down. You know, especially if it is a friend, maybe they need to be cheered up and you've got this positive energy and you guys can bounce off each other. Then their energy charges up, your energy charges up, positivity are love and peace all around. It is kind of like, understand that. And also there are going to be some people that are in bad moods or grumpy that you might need to just put that shield up and go, okay, look, I understand they're having a bad day. Doesn't mean I'm going to let that energy affect me and have a bad day. You know, it might be that, okay, look, I'll talk to you tomorrow when you've had a nice nap. So keep that in mind. It's also about the people around you. Now, the last card is the sex card. Now, this is kind of like, when we are in a negative headspace, we have these desires that like, oh, I want to win the lotto, and we focus, I'm going to just stop with that one metaphor, and we focus so much on how great it'd be to win that lotto, and, you know, and we get ourselves so excited because you go down that rabbit hole of, oh, if I won $50 million, what would I do? I'd pay off this person's mortgage, I'd buy a house here, I'd do this, I'd do that, blah, 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 and then the phone rings and we're like, oh, back to reality. And it's kind of like, well, that brings us down as well. It's fine to have fantasy, but if you keep doing that to yourself on a regular basis, you're just pointing out how much you don't like your life and how bad your life is compared to the life of a multi-billionaire. Okay, so look, it is fine to imagine all that stuff, but at the end of the day, you've got to live, you do have to live in reality. And look, we're not all going to be multi-millionaires. Not everybody's ever going to win the lotto. So it is kind of like, look, if there are things that you want to change, work towards that. If you hate your job, or if you want more money from a job, apply. The wages of new jobs are going up so much these days that you would just start a new job and might be on an extra 20% of what you're earning. My mum, I love my mum, as we all know. She's 77. She's been working at her job for 40 years next year. Do you honestly believe, and I've said this to her many times, she's been there for 40 years, so she's gone in on one salary. Do you think if I walked into that job today and did the exact same job as my mum, who would be being paid more? I guarantee you it would be me, because they might give her a 1% increase or whatever that is now law. Going back 40 years, it wasn't law. So this is what I've said to my mum many a time, but my mum's a creature of routine. If she was to go and apply for the same job with the opposition, she'd probably be on double what she's earning. But my mum isn't about the money. She's very much about, look, better the devil you know than you don't, the one you don't. And that's also fine. I do not try and make my mum do anything she doesn't want to, because that's not what my job is. My job is to guide and give advice. I understand why she's there, especially being at 77. The thought of starting a new job at that age, even anytime after 60 actually, would be so bloody daunting. So different circumstances for different people. However, if you aren't 60, if you are younger than that and don't like your job, or aren't getting, want to be paid more, look, you've got to do the hard work and go out there and look for it. But you can't do that hard work and you can't look for other jobs if you're drowning in negativity. Okay? So give that up. Alright guys, I really hope that helped. I went over longer than normal. If you do want a full reading, you can contact me at thegreenspsychic@gmail.com or through the socials. I will be live on TikTok at 7 PM on Sunday night. Look, stick with it. Understand that there are ups and downs in life. That is life. Accept that. Let go of the, well, everything's going to be shit. The rest of my life is going to be shit. Not true, unless you make it so. Okay? Blessed be.